Ciao everyone, I hope you're doing well today. We are practicing inversions today, specifically yoga inversions such as headstand, forearmstand and handstand. If you have one yoga block, please have it next to you. If you don't have it, you can also use a thick book. And if you're not used to headstand, maybe just the mat it's not enough. So if you have something like this is actually coming from my massage table. Maybe it's a good idea, otherwise any pillow will do. You can also roll your own mat and use it under your head. When you're ready to start, please come on the floor or maybe on your mat, all four. We'll start by warming up our wrist. So we start by spreading the fingers wide, shoulders stuck on top of the elbows and wrists. And then from this position we will start making circles. So you move forward to one side, to the back, to the other side. Try to keep your arms extended without bending the elbows here. Spine in a neutral position, gaze down on the floor. Changing the direction of the circles the other way around. Coming back to the center, once again stack the shoulders on top of your elbows and wrists. Then from here we will move up on our fingers and then we move the rest of the hand down. Moving up and moving down. Try to have all fingers down on the floor, so thumbs included. It's harder if you shift your body weight further forward, so your shoulders are over your elbows and you keep doing this type of exercise. So maybe for those who are a bit more advanced or maybe you are a weight lifters, then you can probably do the hardest variation. Keep moving. Try to do it with control, especially when you go down. And then release. And then start shifting the weight forward. Holding here. See how far you can go. Keep holding here, use a bit of core, gaze down, keep on breathing here. And then release, turn your palms so the fingertips are facing your knees. And then from here we start moving back. Try to keep the palms down on the floor, so don't lift up the root of your hands. Keep leaning back, keep your elbows extended if you can. Holding here, always respecting your range of motion. Keep breathing. And then slowly coming back, moving your fingers to the sides, right and left. Shoulders same level of your elbows, and then we start swinging our body weight right and left to the side. Keep the elbows straight if possible. Coming back to the center, rotating your palms so that they are facing up. And then we start bending the elbows out and extending the elbows as you can. Bending down and rising up, bending down, rising up. 2 more. And then stay into extension. See how much you can extend your elbows here. I cannot extend them completely, as you can see. Keep breathing here. Don't lean back if possible. And then sit on the heels, give a shake to the wrist. If this is too painful, then just roll your wrist instead. Open and close your hands just for a moment, maybe extending your arms to the front, so we start warming up the shoulders as well. And then start rotating the palms, bending the elbows, and then keep rotating, changing the direction of the rotation. Keep extending and bending the elbows, then to the outside, same thing. Change the rotation direction. And then up to the ceiling, bending down, extending the elbows up to the ceiling, bending down, changing the direction of your circles last time. And then release, interlace your hands on behind your back. Extend the elbows as you can, roll the shoulders back so that the scapulas, the shoulder blades come closer together. Open with your chest here. Take a nice inhalation. As you exhale, move forward, forehead toward the ground, maybe on the block. Start pressing up with your hands, pulse here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stay. Keep pressing up. Maybe you can take your palms together. So instead of just the fingers together, interlocked, you have the palms touching together. Keep reaching up. And then slowly release. Take the block if you have it, or a thick book. Come on your knees, separate your knees, hips apart, and then take your elbows on top of the block and press back. We try to find a position so that your buttocks are more or less stuck on top of the knees. So don't sit back as in child pose, but find the angle more as in puppy pose. Keep pressing down and back with your shoulders. You can press your hands together if it helps you. You can keep your hands separated. Release the neck, gaze down to the floor or to your mat. Keep pressing down and back. And then release. Move the block aside, move your hands a bit further forward, press down, chest toward your mat or floor, chin to the floor, look toward your hands here. This is puppy pose, keep breathing. Press up, move your hands under the shoulders. Protract your shoulders, so move the floor away from you. You slightly round your spine in here, widening your shoulders. And then retract your shoulders, so you are sinking into your shoulders. Keep your elbows extended. And then once again, protract, hold, use a bit of core. And retract, sinking down. And again, protracting. Push the floor away. This is the situation that you want to have once you are doing the inversions, handstand and such. And then let it go, protract your shoulders. One last time, protraction of your shoulders, push the floor away. And then simply move forward, come down on your mat or floor. Open the left arm to the left hand is down on the floor. Roll on top of your left shoulder, the head is down on the floor. If the neck bothers you, just place the block or a bolster under your head. Keep moving the chest up toward the ceiling, right arm reach up and over. Open here, keep looking up, keep breathing. And then slowly move, open on the other side, roll. Same thing, but other side. Don't drop the arm down. Try to keep it 90 degrees if possible. Keep breathing here. slowly release, come back to the center. Move the block aside, have your hands under the shoulders, and then take the forearms down in that position. Inhale, move up into Sphinx position. Stay here. Maybe moving up with the elbows, so you stay only on your hands into high cobra. Take a nice inhalation here. As you exhale, turn your gaze and the neck to the right. Inhale back to the center. Exhale to your left. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, forearms down. Right knee bent, tap behind you as far as you can. And then come back on the other side. And come back. Place your hands under the shoulders, come up into a baby cobra. And then twist a bit to your right. And release, and going on the other side. And coming back. Pressing up to come to tabletop position. In this position, extend your legs into downward facing dog. Move your hands toward your feet, walking all the way up, coming up to stand. And then from your position, we start with some swinging of the arms. Make sure you have enough space in your house. Swinging, swinging. Avoid to rotate too much the torso here. Keep swinging or start making circles, cross-lateral circles. Keep breathing. Arms extended if possible. And then changing the direction of your circles. Or just keep swinging. Keep your spine nice and long, gaze to the front. And coming back, we start making rotation with the shoulders, nice and slow here. Use the whole range of motion, so don't look for speed here. Really try to use the range of motion, widening those circles. We do 10 on one direction, in one direction. And then we change the direction. Once again, nice and slowly, using the range of motion. And then release, give a shake to the shoulders. We do a couple of sun salutation just to warm up the whole body. So finding Tadasana or mountain pose, with or without the mat. Inhale, the arms reach all the way up. Exhale, dive forward, extend the legs if possible. Inhale, halfway up, extend your spine. Exhale, step or jump back for Chaturanga Dandasana. Nice push up in here. Inhale, press up into Cobra or upward facing. Exhale into downward facing dog. Stay here, keep pressing back with the shoulders, look toward your knees. It's okay if the heels don't touch the floor. Keep breathing. One last breath. Then look forward, walk, step, jump your feet to the front. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold once again to your legs. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling for your Cobra. Exhale into downward facing dog. Keep looking toward your legs here. Inhale, look forward, step or jump your feet to the front. Stay here, fold. Elongate your hamstrings in here. Keep Uttanasana or the forward fold. Keep breathing. Interlace your fingers together over the head, releasing the head behind you. Keep the gaze toward your legs. And then slowly release the hands down. Come to sit by squatting down. Coming into Navasana or boat position. We warm up also a bit the core as it is an important area that needs to work for our inversions. We will warm up the core a bit more with some yoga drills for the handstand. Keep Navasana, maybe extending the legs. Keep on breathing here. Bend your knees, cross your ankles, pick it up. Down, Navasana once again, keep on breathing. Maybe extending your legs. Bend your knees, other ankles on top, pick it up. Coming down into Navasana, keep your knees bent, inhale. Release your lower back down, extend your legs. Inhale here, exhale, come back to Navasana. Again, moving down and moving up. Moving down, moving up. Last time, down, moving up. Release your feet down, give yourself a nice hug in here. Extend your legs and fold into a seated forward fold. Keep your legs extended, flex your feet. Keep extending your legs to stretch a bit your hamstrings here. Hamstring flexibility is also important to either kick up into the handstand or for a headstand to actually lift your legs up without jumping on your head. One more thing, let's open the legs on a straddle position, Upavista Konasana. Moving forward. We need this one for the straddle press up. Move your torso up, keep your hands to the front, and then lift either one leg at a time or maybe both legs up. If you have both legs, start making circles with your feet. Then change the direction. Stay and drop down. And then move into one side, so choose one leg first. Folding on that direction. Stay, but start opening, so you go a bit more into a side flexion situation. Torso rotating up toward the ceiling. And then fold down. Pass to the front, all the way on the other side. Fold first. Then open with your chest, more of a side flexion here. Elongating the side of the torso. And exhale, drop down. Coming back to the center. And slowly coming up. Close your legs, give a shake here. And then move toward a wall. We will start with walking to the wall. So we will have, I'll give you a couple of variations. If you cannot really walk all the way up to the wall, then start in a downward facing dog with your bum facing the wall. So from this position, you start bending one knee and then the other, and then see how it is. Maybe this is easy. You can move your hands a bit further and extend your legs and stay in this position, sort of a 90 degrees angle. If it's easy for you, then keep walking your feet up, move your hands with you, and reach as close as you can to the wall, maybe touching with the forehead. Keep protracting your shoulder, pressing up. And then move your hands forward. Everybody coming down either to down dog or to a plank position for a push-up. Moving up. And once again, walking the feet up. Walking, reaching the wall. Stay for a moment and then walk forward. We do one last round. Either stay in down dog or into a push-up situation. Pressing up. We come up one last time to the wall. And then we come down once again. Take your rest here. Notice how you're feeling. Maybe shake your wrist or make some circles. You can do more repetition. We will do once again this exercise. We just have a break here. And we add one thing. So if you were already struggling, stay with the downward facing dog, maybe extending the legs so you find yourself in this sort of 90 degrees shape. And then coming down and stay either in down dog or maybe holding a plank. If you want to go further, this time we will go up and down to the wall, once again 3 times, but when we are down on the floor, instead of doing a push-up or a chaturanga dandasana, we will tap the opposite shoulder. So we prepare for another variation of a handstand on the wall. So it will look, when you go down into a plank, it will look like right hand on your left shoulder, left hand on your right shoulder. We will tap 5 times each side, so 10 in total. And then we go up. So from your position, find either down dog or a plank position. And then we start walking the feet up, hands following, reach as close as you can to the wall, tap the forehead if you can, move the hands forward, come down with your feet, find a plank situation, and we start tapping the opposite shoulder. 10 times, so 5 each. And then once again, we walk the feet up. This is our second round of 3. Moving forward to a plank, or maybe to down dog if you're tired. Tapping, keep breathing. And we go up. Moving down to your plank or down dog. If you have the plank, maybe try to tap. We go up last time. And then release. Down on the floor, give a shake to the wrist, rest, take a child pose if you're tired, so lying down in this way. Try to breathe. If this one is too hard for you, do less repetition. Elongate your resting time, and then with practice it will get better. If you're already better than this, then by all means you can increase the repetition, shorter time. Now we will do the tapping of the shoulder, of the opposite shoulder, but on the floor, on the wall, not anymore on the floor. So if you were already struggling, you want to stay in the 90-degree position, then try there. What you can do is that from your down dog, you start bending one knee, then the other foot on the floor, see if you can extend your legs, and then maybe see if you can walk your feet down. Come in a sort of pike situation, and then walk your feet maybe a bit more. See if standing here you can walk, maybe just walk once, one step forward, one step back with your hands, and coming down. So those are the progression for those who cannot go all the way to the wall because maybe there is not enough strength in the shoulders and arms, or maybe you are scared of falling behind you. Totally understandable. One thing that you can do, of course, if you have some like mattress, something fluffy to catch you if you fall, it might help you even just psychologically, because most probably from a down dog situation you don't fall back, but it might help you psychologically speaking. For those instead who were okay with the tapping of the shoulders, going all the way up on the wall, now this time we go only up to the wall once again, and I show you once we are up into our handstand facing the wall, we will start shifting the body weight more on one leg, on one arm, so that we can tap the opposite shoulder. We go down, both hands down, and we move on the other side. There is a trick. So if you haven't done this one, this is the first time doing it, maybe have a look at me the first time. There is a trick which is slightly moving from the hips. So it's like you are wiggling or swinging your hips right and left. So in this way you are helping yourself in supporting the body weight and shifting the body weight so that it gets a bit easier for one hand to lift up. If you cannot go all the way to tap your shoulders, it's a fast movement, but if it's not there yet, then maybe try if you can just feel that you're shifting the body weight on one hand, perhaps lifting just the hand for a second and then put it back. You don't have to go all the way to tap the opposite shoulder. Let's give it a try. If this is your first time, maybe have a look. We go all the way up. You don't have to stay super close to the wall. I like to have my toes on the floor, but on the wall, but maybe you can release the back of the foot. All right, so from here, shift my body weight on the right hand. So maybe just like this for you, or tap. Other side and tap. Once again, we do 10 if you can, 5 each. Otherwise, maybe 2 or just 1, just to try out. When you finish, coming back down. Have a rest here. Take a couple of breaths. And then we begin our set of 3. Once again, you can do more or less. Let's give it a try. Walking up. Not too close to the wall, but also not too far. And then shift the body weight a bit more on the right, then more on the left, and keep going. If you do only 10, then now it's the time to go down. If you are used to this thing, then keep going. You can go tapping for maybe a minute or 2, like this. I'm tired because I already worked out this morning on my arms. So this is what I'm doing today, just to show you, but by all means, if you can, it's a good thing to have a practice of 1 minute. So you set a timer on your phone, just leave your phone next to you or in front, so somewhere that you know that once you are facing the wall, you can actually see it. And set the timer for 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes, and keep going in this way. It will get better as more as you do it. It will get better quite quickly. Once again, we go up and start tapping. Keep the gaze in between your hands. Moving down, or keep tapping if you are doing maybe the minute challenge. We have 1 more round to go. Don't get discouraged if you are still in the 90-degree type of situation. You can also try out from that situation, so 90-degree. In this way, maybe slightly higher with your feet, and you can try to wiggle on one side. Maybe you come to the fingertips on one hand, and then on the other side. Or maybe you can even lift up one hand. So like a duck type of walk, so that you get used to having to lift one hand at the time so that you can then get to walk toward the wall. It's true that when you do handstand, you don't necessarily have to do walking handstand, especially if you are practicing yoga, you just do handstand and you stay there. But you need to know how to take your body weight differently and shifting your body weight differently on your hands. So it's a good thing that you learn how to walk. And walking handstand are also a good practice for getting stronger in your core, in your arms, shoulders, everything, the wrist, so that you can then stay straight up like this into headstand in your yoga, on your yoga mat. 1 more round, everybody. Let's move up. And keep tapping, or do your variation. And then moving down. Take a couple of deeper breaths. All right, now we will face the wall in this way. So sorry if I give you my back. And we will try to kick up for handstand. You can start either into a downward facing dog situation or more into a forward fold situation. I suggest you to look in between the hands at the beginning. Don't stay too close on to the wall because you don't want to bump your head on the wall. So a few centimeters from the wall with your hands. Try to look in between the hands at this point of the practice.
And then try to keep your legs extended for this one, both extended. If you don't have hamstring flexibility, it might be a bit tricky to keep them both extended, so don't rush it. Maybe do a bit more of yoga for hamstrings elongation. And then we will start with our favorite leg. You will find out which one is. Most probably the first one that you lift up is your favorite leg to kick up. Now, if you have hamstring flexibility and hips mobility, maybe just looking in between your hands, a protraction of the shoulders, keeping your elbows straight. Perhaps this is enough to kick all the way up and reach the wall with control, if you can. If this is not working, then start maybe bending both knees. Keep the leg that is down on the floor bent and try to extend the other. And then do mini jump. Maybe you are scared to jump a bit too much and maybe fall or just, crash into the wall. So do mini jump instead. And by control, what I mean is that we are really trying to, instead of just using the momentum, which is great, especially at the beginning, if there is not enough strength, but also let's try to control the movement by shifting. We are voluntarily shifting our body weight on the arms. To understand what I mean, if you come into a standing forward fold, like Uttanasana, if you are one of my students here in Amsterdam, you know that I always do it in Vinyasa. In Uttanasana with the hands just at 10-15 centimeters in front of the feet, if you don't reach the floor, again, for the hamstring flexibility, place a block or 2 blocks under your hands. You want to have your hands on something, block or the floor. And then from here, see, I'm shifting my body weight back here. Now I'm trying to do the opposite. With control, I shift more body weight to the hands. More body weight to the hands. Maybe the heels will start even lifting up, although my legs are still extended. And don't keep your hands, I show you from here, don't keep your hands fully extended like this, but grip a bit, either the mat or the floor, like you're doing this type of movement. Because this helps you then to shift your body weight and keep your balance. Okay, so try this more controlled way to shift your body weight on your hands, gripping the floor or the mat, and notice how it feels when you shift more body weight to the hands. When you are here into this forward bending Uttanasana, if you can shift really your body weight to the hands, almost the heels will lift up. Try, bend one knee. Use hamstring strength now to keep your heel toward your buttocks. Keep shifting forward. And then drop down. Do the other side. Try to stay on the toes of the other leg. Keep looking in between the hands, protracting your shoulders. Don't collapse into the shoulders. And drop it down. Give a break here to the wrist. So I hope that this with little tryout or exercise in Uttanasana, you understood this shifting and controlling the shifting of your body weight. So now we go once again to the wall and we try to do that. Once again, you can start from downward facing dog. For someone is easier, especially if hamstring flexibility is not that good. Otherwise, you can stay more into a pike position, Uttanasana. And then once again, try to shift your body weight forward so the heels are lifting up. Yeah, and when you do this, once again, we do this variation with the kicking, so it's the same thing. I'm kicking and shifting my body weight forward. So instead of just jumping, I'm trying also to shift in the body weight with control. Maybe not both legs will lift up, that's okay. If you are struggling here, you are sort of halfway there. So your problem is mainly that you can't kick up with the second leg. Then I suggest to have, I show you actually, I have it here, like a box or a puff. A chair will also do, just careful when it's something that is hard. And we will place the feet on top of it. I'll show you, just give me a second. So here we are. This is what I mean. This is like a bit hard, but for me it's okay. So just careful. Once again, you can use the chair. And what you are gonna do is that you place your legs on this. So as you can see, you are already elevated. It's a bit easier to shift the body weight now. And then from here is the same thing, trying to kick up, and maybe you can then get with both legs. Just careful, like this thing, for instance, is moving slightly very easily. So careful that you have something that is stable enough, or get creative to block the thing that you're using. But if your main problem is that you can quite kick up with one leg, but then the second leg is not following for some reason, then if you use this one, it will definitely help you. As we are here, I show you also another variation. If you are still at the very beginning of your handstand journey and you're really struggling, afraid, maybe lack of strength in your shoulders, with the chair, path, or whatever you're using, keep it here. Once again, face the wall. You can also do it if you are used to handstand and just to kind of practice and getting stronger in the shoulders. You will do it without the wall. So in this case, for me, it would be here. Yeah, I show you for those with the wall behind. Move the feet on the corner of your chair or whatever you're using, and then lift one leg up as much as you can. Take your shoulder same level of your elbows and wrist. That's it. And then do the other leg. Shifting your body way forward. Keep looking in between the hands. And maybe this is it, or, so this is static, or you can start swinging and do mini jump. See, one leg is lifting up. Maybe do 3, 5, 10 repetitions. Once again, depends how tired you are. So you keep kicking, kicking. And once again, if you're not afraid of falling, you're already practicing handstand for a while, you can use this type of drill just to warm up your shoulders or get a bit stronger in your arms. So you can do it without the wall and keep doing this sort of kicking. All right, let's do it. Let's give it a try. Let me move this one somewhere outside the camera. So find your variation. Perhaps you want to use the chair or something under your legs, or move to the wall, either from down dog or forward bend. Let's start kicking up, hold here. You can look straight. Once you get the balance, maybe see if you can leave the wall with one or both feet. Moving down, keep trying to kick up, or if you get it, then stay and try to move either one leg or both legs from the wall. Keep breathing, keep pressing with your hands. Maybe you stay a few breaths on the handstand, coming down and then coming up once again. If you are kicking up, maybe try 10 times and then give a break. Then if you're tired, come down, give a break here, maybe breathing. You can do this type of workout if you just noted down the drills that I'm giving you here. You can modulate a bit of a workout for your available time of the day. Maybe you only have 10 minutes, 20 minutes, for instance. So you noted down those drills and you set up, 3 repetitions, or I stay 30 seconds up, something like that. And then you see how it develops, maybe in a week, in a month. And then maybe you can adjust and increase. All right, so now if you are struggling, once again, everybody is different, so keep doing what you're doing, and maybe with the chair, or maybe you feel like, okay, I want to try to just kick up and see if with the momentum I can reach the wall and maybe stay, just one breath, or simply come down and try again. Of course, the more you are trying to jump up and down, the harder is on your breath. So very important that you keep breathing, don't hold the breath, keep breathing. Also, if you keep your hands, so you touch the wall, you're staying there maybe for 10 breaths or something, keep breathing, don't hold it, because otherwise you start collapsing. So keep breathing. And maybe try again this one. If you find, well, yeah, it went pretty well, then I give you another variation that works a bit more on the core management. So we will tuck our legs toward our chest instead of having our legs extended and kicking up. So it will look still with the wall. Of course, if you're already advanced, you don't need the wall, you can do all those things without the wall. So from here, we take the feet together, knees together if it's possible, and then leaning slightly back, and then we try to kick up toward the wall. Maybe the feet will touch the floor, maybe you let go a bit and so the buttocks will touch the floor. You can stay here, or maybe you can try to extend your legs then completely. You can also try, if you can, to do it as one movement. So tucking, and then once you are up on your shoulders, extending immediately in your legs. And so once again, feet together, bend your knees, going back. So you are using this type of bear squat situation to help you with the momentum to kick up. Maybe once again you stay, if you like, here on the wall, 3 breaths, 10 breaths, maybe trying to separate the feet from the wall, coming down, and then trying and again. So if you want to do it with me, I'm gonna just tuck up 5 times, and I'm gonna stay up maybe just a couple of breaths, and then coming down, and we will repeat. So it's becoming a bit more cardio. If you don't like it, take it easier and slower. Let's go. First tuck, prepare, feet together, bend your knees, finding yourself back in the squat. Use the momentum to jump up, extend legs, stay, breathe, maybe separate feet from the wall, keep breathing, and feet down, bend, reach back, kicking up, moving up, breathe, release down, careful if your hands are sweating, bend your knees, come back, tuck, extend legs, stay, keep breathing, coming down, and tuck, and then release down, give a break here, keep breathing. Now let's give a break to our wrist. Although you might be practicing yoga for a while, doing this type of inversion will definitely be felt on the wrist. So be patient, take it easy. Of course, if there is any wrist injury or pain and such, you need to speak with a doctor, physio, all these kind of things. So don't attempt handstand with wrists that are in very poor conditions. And there are some tricks that you can use. There are those, I'm not sure what's the English name for those things, but you know, like sort of bandage. Sometimes it's like a glove that you can place and keep the joint a bit more stable in position, and it might help you. Some other people use, I show you from here because I don't have it, handles. So it changes the distribution of your weight on your arms and wrists, and so because you are taking the handle, imagine this is quite thick, but a handle obviously is smaller. And so it will definitely change the distribution of your weight on the wrist. And so for people who are experiencing wrist pain, maybe because they are doing calisthenics, for instance, and a lot of handstand and these kind of things, then they switch sometimes to handles to help and to ease a bit the wrist work. So this is also a little trick that you might want to try. But I recommend you to buy those things if you're really into getting the handstand or maybe practicing calisthenics and these kind of things. If you are just trying out like this for fun to see what is your level, or you know that you're going to do it once in a while, I will just say take it a bit easier, do a bit more of a warm-up, a bit more of a stretching afterwards, keep practicing your yoga practice, and don't buy extra stuff.
Just be careful and mindful in how you use your body. Now we give a break on our wrist because we start with the forearm stand. Let's start by taking dolphin pose. So from a tabletop position, take your forearms down on the floor. Once again, if you want to use the mat, please feel free to do so. Tuck your toes on the floor and then extend your legs as you can. Maybe you need to stay here because you cannot extend the legs. So once again, the hamstrings and calf muscles are not helping you out here. That's okay. If you can extend, then do so. Press back with the shoulders. Keep looking either in between the arms or toward your legs. Pressing back so that the heels are coming closer or touching the floor. Keep pressing back. Try to keep your arms parallel to each other. And then release the knees down. I show you also these things to know the exact distance in between your arms. Catch the opposite elbow. And then once again, release the forearms and the palms down on the floor. One thing that we will do, you can do it already now, but I would like you to repeat for a couple of times dolphin pose in this way. However, if you're really struggling, either interlace your fingers, so you will do in this way, or grab already the block and squeeze the block with your hands. So this not only keep your arms in position, but force you, if you really squeeze the block, force you to activate the arms and shoulders muscles. Let's try it again. One thing before you do it, just have a look, because I notice that when I teach yoga that a lot of people drop the head down. This is not dolphin pose. It will do very little on your shoulders and arm strength. Plus, there is not the same direction that you need to take for forearm stand because your head is here. While when you want to practice dolphin pose, notice where my head and my bum are going. Here. Yeah, so from down to the floor. When there is very little activation of my arms, see my shoulders are collapsing forward, I have a lot of body weight on my head, which is not great, to here. Okay, so if it's really hard, keep your knees bent, maybe stay up 1 second, 2 seconds, and then release down. Keep looking in between your arms, bend your knees, tuck your toes, press up as you can, keep your knees bent, keep pressing back with the shoulders, breathe, and then release down. So this is the kind of variation if you cannot really do dolphin. The variation of having the head down in this way is not really a valuable variation, so don't even think about it. Try this other easier variation. All right, let's go. Going with dolphin pose once again, either first variation, bending the knees and stay just 1 or 2 seconds, or take dolphin pose, we stay 5 breaths here, keep pressing back. Once again, if there is enough space for head and hair, look toward your knees or toward your feet, keep pressing back and release, knees down. Give a break here. If you want to loosen up the shoulders also, just shake or make a couple of rolls. One more breath. And again, forearms down, tuck your toes, knees up or extend your legs. You can keep your feet together or feet hips apart. Keep pressing back, keep breathing. One last breath. And release. Extend your legs, come to forearms plank. Keep on breathing. Variation for this, if it's too intense, one knee down, pick it up, other knee down, pick it up. And you keep going in this way, too intense, both knees down, but keep the level here, shoulders stuck on top of the elbows. Don't move back, don't collapse forward, don't sink in between. So keep the position, although you have your knees down. Otherwise, knees up. Keep breathing. And press up. One hand, the other hand, plank, hold. Once again, too intense, one knee down, and then the other. Keep breathing. And release, knees down, give a shake. We try again. Forearms down. Extend legs, forearms plank, keep looking in between your arms, keep breathing, change the knees if you're tapping with the knees down, and then other hand first, the other up, high plank, hold, keep breathing, and release, knees down. We'll do one last time.
forearms down, extend legs, forearms plank, keep breathing. Change the knee if you have one knee down. Try both hands up together, high plank. And release down. Well done. Shake your shoulders, arms. And then grab your block. I'll show you a couple of options here. We will start by having the block in between our hands, forearms down on the floor and feet on the wall. Once again, it might be a bit scary for someone not having the wall behind you, but the feet are still on the floor, both on the wall. So you have still the support of something. However, if the shoulders are not that strong, you might feel like the feet are sliding down, like you're losing control, which is the underlying fear of not having a wall behind us. So maybe you can do this with a buddy, yoga buddy, who is going to be behind you. So in my case, it's going to be here, right? And help me out so that if I need a bit more mental, psychological support, I know that that person is behind me, sort of catching me or helping me out. We start with the forearms down on the floor, come relatively closer to the wall so that you can feel the wall behind you with your feet. Grab your block, hold the block. You can hold it on the lowest high, this is the lowest, or maybe on the medium. See what works for your hands, also the size of your hands. And then from here, keep your arms in position. If you notice that your elbows are wider, not good. So always try grab the opposite elbow. That's your distance. It's individual. So grab it. That's your distance. Extend your arms and grab your block. It's not like you are just resting your hands on the block, because otherwise, see, if I'm just resting, this is happening. I'm squeezing, yeah, without creating too much tension. Like if you find yourself like this, maybe that's a bit too much. We don't need extra tensions, but you are squeezing, so you are activating those muscles. Not doing anything, I almost lose the block, or activation. Nothing, activation, yeah? So let's come back down, find your starting point. And then from here, keep pressing up with your arms and shoulders, keep pressing the block in between your hands, and then start extending, maybe just one leg, maybe both legs up. You can come to a 90-degree type of shape, or keep your legs a bit higher. Stay here if you are struggling already. If it's easy, then lift up one leg, and then change. You can use a bit more core, or you can go a bit more into back bend for Pincha Mayurasana. Maybe find out what comes easy for you or sort of natural. Let's keep going, leaving one leg at a time. Keep looking in between your arms and the other leg. And coming down. Now see how it is. If you're not used to practice forearm stand, most likely you will have some bruise toward the elbows area. And the more you do it in one go, the more likely it's gonna open. So you will have a blister and then it opens. The more you practice, it calcifies and then it's gone. So no worries. Of course, you can also use, those tape, like the CrossFitter tape or similar thing. So you just tape and you don't get, those things. But if you are taking this practice seriously, meaning consistently, then it's a matter of doing it. It's like, the callus that you can have here in the hands if you're doing pull-ups or such a thing. The more you do it, the more it calcifies and then it's basically gone. It's also a matter of the technique, how you place your body weight and such, so don't worry too much. But if you are worried about your appearance, maybe because also your job, for instance, I give massages, so I can't really, be bleeding or wearing tapes or things like that. So I need to be a bit more mindful, so keep it in mind. Alright, so maybe you try this one once again, or I show you another variation. You can do it with the wall behind you, and in this way maybe you can go all the way with both legs up to the wall. Once again, I show you here from the side actually what I meant before by arching or using a bit more core. For me, as I have already a bit of a lordosis, it's really easy to go into a banana shape and arching my back, because this is actually my posture during the day, which is not great, obviously. So if it comes natural to you, you can at the beginning just try and lift both legs up and keeping a bit of this shape of a back bend. Most likely you are not gonna have pain because this is your natural posture. However, if you want to master a bit more the forearm stand and in general work a bit more on the core, it might help you for handstand and other things, then we need to try to tilt the pelvis and to use a bit more of the core, the psoas muscles, lower abs as well, to have these more of a straight spine from here, core basically not working, to here. Yeah, and this is actually is coming next with the tripod and headstand, is what help you to lift your legs from the wall without jumping or kicking up. So find out what is your kind of a natural way. Maybe you find yourself like me in a banana shape. See, maybe you do once or twice the kicking up to the wall with this type of natural shape that you have, and then see if you can correct by using a bit more core and extension of your spine. All right. Once again, don't come too close to the wall with your head so that you don't bump your head on the wall by mistake. We start from a dolphin pose situation if you are now kicking your legs toward the wall. And then once again, legs straight, or maybe you need to bend the leg that is on the floor, or both. And then from here, keep looking in between your arms and see if you can jump up to the wall. Maybe hold here. Maybe try to leave your feet so you keep your balance here. Keep breathing. Slowly coming down. If you need, take a rest. Otherwise, if you're just trying, then keep trying, jumping up, kicking up, maybe 3-5 times, and then take a break. Let's keep going. If you notice that you don't really need the block, then leave the block aside, but don't stay in this way with your arms. The palms are down on the floor as in the regular dolphin pose. Try to kick up also with the other leg. So if you find out that your favorite leg to kick up is your right, then try out how it works if you try with the other leg. Once again, either just kicking up, or maybe you find yourself up and you can stay with the feet not touching the wall. Take a rest in between the trials. Keep breathing. We will do one more time. Here together, then once again you can modulate this workout so that it suits your need and your time. Let's do one last time. Maybe try to do it with a bit more control so that you don't touch the wall. And then slowly coming down. And then we go with the tripod straddle coming up. So once again, if you have a similar thing for the crown of the head, good. Otherwise, pillow, good too. Take yourself toward the wall once again, so you know that you have the wall behind you. Maybe you don't need it, so don't use the wall behind you. In this case, we release the top of the head down on the floor. Top of the head is relative, because some people maybe will leave it more here, some more where the fontanella is, which is here. So crown of the head, top of the head, there is a bit of some centimeters or millimeters difference between individuals. So find something that works so that your position with the neck is stable and you don't have to hyperextend your neck. This is hyperextension of the neck, yeah? And also you don't want to find yourself tucking the chin toward the chest. So you want to try to keep your neck nice and tall, like in this way. Like if you grab now that thing or block, it needs to stay in position. So if you start hyperextending, falls back, and obviously vice versa will fall forward if you start tucking the chin toward the chest, okay? So try to remember, okay, this is the position that I want to have. Use muscle memory, and then try upside down. So, top of the head on this thing or pillow. Tripod has your hands down on the floor, shoulders on the same level of your elbows, bend the elbows. And then from knees down on the floor, tuck your toes, extend your legs. Open the legs on a V shape. If you have the shoes, it's a bit easier. So from here, we start shifting body weight back. So you use the mobility in the hips to tilt. And in this way, from feet down, you find yourself on your toes. And then see if it happens that with your hips mobility, your feet come up. If it doesn't, maybe not enough flexibility in the hamstrings, so bend your knees instead. And try to kick a bit in this way. And see if you can find the momentum to place more body weight on your arms. If there is enough mobility, then keep your legs extended. Find yourself into a straddle. And then closing your legs. You know that you have the wall behind you. So if you need, rest your feet on the floor. If possible, keep them separated from the wall. And then once again, opening the legs, if it's possible, to come down into a straddle with control. If it doesn't happen, you need to come down with straight legs or bending the knees by all means. So if you had a look while I was doing it, I will do it again. Just pay attention to the hips, how I'm tilting the hips, because that is key. Again, if you don't have, I show you also from standing, if you don't have this type of mobility, maybe from standing you can still kind of doing it. If you try from sitting, as we were before in Upavista Konasana, the straddle, from down, you cannot do this and tilting forward, so just try out. If you sit here and this is the maximum, like the thing that you can do is leaning back, but from here you can't move forward because the only thing for you would be this. You cannot do this, all right? If you don't have this, then we need to work out with some yoga drills or mobility trainings to mobilize a bit the hips and the spine so that it gets this type of range of motion to do those tilting of the pelvis. So for now, if this is not available, then what you can do is what I was mentioning before. I'll show you once again. So down, top of the head on the floor, hands on a tripod shape. Imagine from the front, or actually from the side, you are creating a triangle shape. The 3 points of the triangle, crown of your head or top of your head, and your hands, yeah? So it's more of a triangle. The hands are not here, they are not next to your head, and neither obviously all the way back toward your legs. So shoulders, elbows, hands here. So as I was mentioning, if once you come up, maybe you are here, your knees need to be bent. So first of all, if you are really not able to do this, even like opening your legs, you feel really like shaky and it's just not going to work, then keep your knees bent and try one knee on top of the corresponding elbow, so right knee on top of the right elbow, down, left knee on top of the left elbow, down. And then keep trying. Maybe you get tired, maybe you feel the blood in your head or anything like that. If you're not used to be upside down, it can be quite confusing as an experience. So maybe just try once or twice, do a bit of repetition. If you start getting like, oh, well, actually, you know what? I can do it. I have this mobility to tap one knee on the elbow or upper arm. Then try to stay. Stay. See if shifting a bit of body weight from here will allow you to have both knees on top. Here is not really arm strength required, to be fair. It's really a matter of shifting the load. Yeah. So you find yourself in a sort of a top or head crow pose. Yeah, you can also play around by getting into crow pose, so pushing up with your arms so that you start working with the arm strength. So that is another thing that you can do, progression from there. So once again, you can come here with the knees up, then you start by taking one knee toward your chest, maybe both knees toward your chest. Now here, yes, you start feeling on your arms and also on the core. And maybe you stay here or you try to extend the legs up. And you can just try to do this, bending the knees to your chest, extending the legs. This is a nice workout. Or coming down a bit with your legs extended. And then pressing up. If it's too intense, tap on the wall behind and tap on the floor before rising up once again. So those are the progression. If everything here works fine for you, you can do it. Maybe you do it as a warm-up for another time. And then you try with the straddle, which requires, once again, the arms strength, the tilting of the pelvis, but it also works on the mobility, obviously, in your hips, the flexibility in the inner thighs to actually have the straddle as you come up, coordination to keep your balance as you start extending the legs and then opening to a straddle once again and coming down on the floor. So I stop here because I think that I show you enough, but you can keep going with those progressions. And by progression, sometimes I have this feedback from a student that maybe something that I consider a bit more advanced or more difficult for them is easier and vice versa. And of course it can be in this way because it depends on what is your strongest point, let's say. So for instance, you have a very good hamstrings mobility and hamstring flexibility and hamstring strength, then straight legs is gonna be way easier than, for instance, having the straddle, because maybe on the inner thighs and such a thing you are not that strong. And obviously vice versa for those who have a very strong straddle but they cannot reach their feet with your hands. Yeah. So it depends, try out, but if I can give you a suggestion, if you find out that you're pretty good or a natural into something, I know it's really tempting to keep going with that thing. And yes, of course, it's nice to get to master that thing, so by all means, but don't get fixated with just that one that comes naturally and easy. Try to challenge yourself, and this is how you acquire more mobility, a wider range of motion. You get stronger, you start using other muscles or groups of muscles that will help you to unlock a lot of other movement or asanas if we are talking about the yoga practice. All right, let's just finish up and show you some maybe stretching that you can do if you want to do it now with me, or just to keep it in mind for another time when you're doing maybe a shorter workout or yoga drills for inversions. For the wrist, extend one arm, press down with the fingers so the wrist is facing up, or the inside of the wrist is facing up. Pressing back. Keep your arms extended, don't drop it down if possible. 15 seconds, 20 seconds, maximum 30, and then change the arm. You can do the same thing by standing, you don't have to sit like me. And then interlace your fingers, start making rolls or circles. Loosening up here,
changing the direction. Pressing forward, so you have your fingers interlaced and then you press forward, palms facing forward. And then release, shake. Release the hands down, shake your shoulders. Actually start making circles here first. Just a few rotations on one direction and then change the direction the other way around. And then shaking, shaking. If you stand up, you can shake actually a bit more. And then slowly take a nice inhalation here. And as you exhale, twist to your left side. Come back to the center. As you exhale, twist on the other side. Come back to the center, extend your legs. You have a moment here just to swing or shake your legs. Come down on the floor. Bend your knees, feet under your buttocks. Hands are resting on the floor. Inhaling, moving up with your buttocks. Maybe lift your arms over the head. Stay here. Keep pushing up with your legs. You can also keep it as in a supported bridge pose. Block under your spine, any height. This is the highest. It's a bit harder. You can take it a bit lower. Stretching the whole front of the body. And now a few breaths. If you don't have the supported bridge, then stay up to 5 breaths. Come down and maybe come up for a second round of 5 breaths. Keep your knees parallel to each other. Don't open them to the sides. If you have the block, remove it. Coming down on the floor, take your knees toward your chest. Make a couple of circles here in both directions. And then drop the knees down on your left side. Open with the right arm to the right. Option to extend the right leg, so the upper leg. Release, slowly coming back to the center and release on the other side. Twisting to the left. Once again, if you like, extend the left leg. Once again, careful on the space that you have in your house. Coming down. Extend your legs. Extend your arms over the head. Keep your elbows slightly bent. And then slide your elbows a bit further down toward your waist. And then once again, slide the arms up over the head. Let's keep going in this way, nice and slowly, nothing too intensive. Sliding, sliding. A couple of times more. And then curling on one side. Extending once again, curling on the other. Extending. Exhale, curl on one side. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl on the other side. Inhale, extend. Then either keep curling or coming up to sit. Release in a nice forward fold, nothing too intense in here around your back. Keep your knees slightly bent, the hands resting on the floor, palms facing up. Allow a few more breaths here. And then slowly lift yourself up. Cross your legs. Take a nice inhalation through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Well done for surviving and arriving to the end of the workout and of the video. If you have any questions or feedback, do let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, I wish you well and I see you next time. Ciao!